If you're not already on board with this new wave of Dave Filoni helmed Star Wars projects, this won't change your mind. But if you are, then consider this another fantastic episode in the expansion of the Clone Wars saga. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm the Talking Sentient Sandwich, and while I would have preferred a full series of serialized narratives, this glimpse into a couple characters in and around the Empire was incredibly fun to see. On one hand, the series is so short that it comes and goes before you even have a chance to think about it, only giving a few 15-minute episodes to 2 people. But on the other hand, that also makes the show easily digestible. You could watch the whole thing in a little over an hour in just one chunk, and it'll still feel better paced than some movies with the same runtime. You could always spread it over a few nights as well, but you know me, I like to binge. But as I began watching, the first thing that I noticed was the quality of animation. It's the same style that we've seen used in the Clone Wars, but like the storytelling, this similar style has been continuously pushed to make it the best version it possibly could be. In the first episode, there was a moment where a character fell down on some rocks, and up close, I swear that rocky texture looked real. And there was another moment where the same person grabbed some dirt in between her fingers, and it looked like stop motion just from how accurate the detail looked. I'm sure we'll get more shows like this with the same style and it'll look even better, but for now, this is the best this animation has ever looked. By design, anthologies are always a little hit or miss, and this does fall into that. It has the exact same structure as Tales of the Jedi, which you probably could have guessed. And like that, some of the episodes are intense and bombastic, and some of the episodes lean on the meandering side. For the most part, the pacing is incredibly fast, so when the show slows down for character beats, you can feel it. But that doesn't make it boring or anything. So if you're a Star Wars fan, definitely check out Tales of the Empire, because it was a fast and easy watch that you will not regret. There's really only one semi-spoiler that I want to get to later, but before I get there, I want to discuss just how well Tales of the Jedi and Empire have expanded Star Wars lore. And it's not just that. Dave Filoni, and by extension everyone who has worked on The Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian, and even Ahsoka has done a phenomenal job at expanding lore that wasn't loved at first, but is now getting the fandom to see it in a different light. No matter what faults they have, sometimes glaring, they've managed to inject real people and genuine struggles into galactic-scale storylines that seemed uninterested in that beforehand. For example, think of Cypher Diaz. This is from the Clone Wars, and I also barely remember it, so take this with a grain of salt. But all that weird stuff from Attack of the Clones with a mysterious third party named Cypher Diaz commissioning the creation of the clone army is answered in the Clone Wars show. I mean, having dumb plot lines like that shouldn't be there in the first place, but it's cool to see things like that being acknowledged organically. But before I conclude, I do have to get to that one flaw I noticed when watching Tales of the Empire, because it wasn't all perfect. There were some lines of dialogue that reminded me this was for children, like a moment where a side character stopped to tell the audience that what was happening was actually bad. But aside from that, and maybe a few more moments, the dialogue was surprisingly good for something primarily made for kids. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts on Tales of the Empire in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly videos and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.